Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Elliot.
Happy birthday, dear Elliot. Happy birthday to you.
All right, it's Elliot's birthday show. Let's get this thing started. Hello and welcome to the Mr. Robot Digital After Show hosted by The Verge. I am Nilay Patel, I'm the editor-in-chief of The Verge. I'm joined, as always, by Megan Farouk-Manesh. How's it
Hey,
going, Megan?
good. How's it going?
I'm good. That was a real moment.
I know, it was very special.
You lost the hat right away.
I just, stored it for later.
Yeah. Russell, I will tell you this. Russell's hat was stolen by a crew
I
member
liked it.
as she raced out the
I
door.
thought it was a good look.
Russell Brandon is here. How's it going?
Yeah. Oh, it's great. We got a last-minute hack there.
Yeah.
I was like, what are we going to do for the hack report? And then we sort of found out
Yeah.
there's a last-minute hack.
Yeah. A physical IRL hack.
It's true. It's the best kind.
As always, we start with some ground rules. This is a co-venture. The After Show is a co-venture between USA Network, which makes Mr. Robot, and The Verge, which makes The Verge. But this is an editorially independent show. We get to say whatever we want, which is pretty cool. But we don't discuss spoilers or speculation or fan theories. We want to live right with you, the fans. You can also get a hold of us.
Yes, don't forget, so tweet at us with hashtag #RobotAfterShow. If you forget what it is, it's going to be right in the corner of your screen. Also, you can go to Reddit. Go to the Mr. Robot subreddit. We're the first pinned thread, so come talk to us.
Yeah, we got a couple of great guests tonight. Peter Van Valkenburg, a currency expert, is going to talk to us about eCoin and Bitcoin, by which I mean Russell will understand eCoin and Bitcoin. And Jeremy Holm, who plays the very terrifying Sutherland, is on the show tonight. That's going to be very exciting. But let's get right into the show. It's like a lot of stuff that
Quite an
happened
episode, yeah.
that I think we should talk about. So I'm just going to run through them and we'll go through what I think are the big beats. So the whole first bit, Elliot, super corporate drone,
Yeah.
a lot of great monologuing happening with him. Joanna Wellick is dead.
Yeah.
My heart
R.I.P.
explodes. Mr. Robot revealed himself to Krista. Turns out he's a bit of a creep. And Flipper is back.
Flipper,
The best part of the show, yeah.
Pets of Robot is always the most important part of the show. So let's start at the start. Elliot, whole first act, living a pretty dull, dreary existence. We actually have a clip. Let's roll that now.
Welcome to the Evil Corp family. We're happy to have you here.
But this doesn't mean I'm selling out. I'm just growing up, signing up for a 401k, choosing an HMO plan with a good deductible. Sign up for Trunk Club. Pop a fuse all lock. Join in on the live-action cartoon of 2D emotions that everyone else is in. I finally see the fatal exception error of my ways, and I know what to do now. I'm gonna fix the world I broke and put it back together better than it was before.
All right, so Elliot's drone life. In the most expressive use of language possible, how do you feel about this? This is sad. This is a sad situation, although Megan's got it right. I feel like they nailed a lot of...
Yeah. He's cool.
Yeah, you're just chilling.
Just chill.
Yeah,
Just with
it's
it.
great.
I don't know about this. He was so sad. He's crying and dancing.
I think he's actually on a really good path to being healthy. He's dressing nice. He's on Zoloft.
Yeah.
That sounds great to me.
So they really kind of nailed the corporate drone
Yeah.
culture situation.
Trunk Club.
I'm so excited
He
about
looks
this.
great. It clearly worked out for him. The wardrobe, while iconic, had been maybe getting a little monotone, and now it's like works some subtle checks in there.
Yeah, he's wearing that gingham shirt.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? The default shirt for all office workers in
Yeah.
America. He's on the Zoloft. He's Soul Cycle. There's a Goo Goo Dolls reference.
Yeah.
That's not him though. That's somebody
not him.
else. That's not part of his.
It's one of the
recruitment
it's
process.
one of the bosses.
But I
in
will
the
say
Nintendo.
That guy's
Elliot-
not doing okay.
Elliot, as a human being who encounters people who talk about the Goo Goo Dolls, has not been with us for a season. Right? Like he's back in the world. I will say we're going to talk about some of the eCoin stuff later, but the world seems shockingly normal for having just suffered these attacks and having a power outage. But it's clear that there's some cracks behind the scenes.
Well, they're in the corporate bubble, right?
Yeah.
Well, also, like, they have to go back to normal at some point. You can't live in chaos forever, so people kind of cling to what they need to get through the day.
Yeah. But it's nice to see Elliot somewhat living a human.
Being okay.
Being a
Minus the, crying he does.
Minus the weeping
it's
in the
always in the
corner.
corner, too. I'm just like, yo, like, go to your bathtub or something.
It's also like the last time I watched Dancing with the Stars. Like, it's actually pretty bleak.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's true. It's a sad show. But here's the thing. No references of stage 2. Right?
Oh, no, so-
Which is
so
the
he-
whole last episode, stage 2 is
Well, and like
happening,
it
it's not
seems like
happening.
he's on top of it. He's like, we did this. If that doesn't work, I did this other thing. Like in 3 or 4 minutes, he basically wrapped it up. I'm like, we don't have to worry about that anymore.
Yeah, I
He's really on
stopped.
top of his stuff. He's like taking out all these bad people at E-Core, like Evil Core. I don't know. They keep switching back and forth on his name.
He's
really
saved
selling out.
Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just love that it's always the same FBI squad who are having a really good week, I think. Yeah. They're all
They're
getting
shutting it
raises.
down. It just seems like he's like, I'm sad I'm not part of anything anymore.
Yeah.
To him, it feels like this is over, but that's clearly, there's many episodes.
Oh, yeah.
Go to Trunk Club now.
We see the swing back. But next up, Joanna Wellick is dead. All right, let's just continue with this situation. Oh, 2 emoji. You got a
Okay.
real texting mastermind over there.
This doesn't properly convey. This is my first immediate reaction,
Oh,
which is great.
I think
sadness.
that one's happy, by the way.
Okay, this is horrific. This is
That's
not
terribly
happy.
graphic.
This is. Do you see the eyebrows? They're very sad. No, I'm actually very angry and very upset that Joanna's dead. She was my favorite character on the show.
Yeah. She was
the
a
most
true-
interesting character. Yeah, she was the best, like low-key villain, and I just don't feel like she got enough screen time. So.
Well, I feel like there were many threads compete. Like we're down to F Society, Dark Army, FBI, and the Tyrell subplot is kind of moving into that zone, and she represented something else. But I'm with you. Among my favorites.
I mean, they did wrap up. You think about like Derek the bartender is gone, their baby out of the picture, Joanna's gone. Like they really
Yeah.
just were like, let's just done.
Yeah.
And while the picture is gross, like, she's definitely dead.
I mean, they did
it
crack
seems
her
like
skull open, so
Yeah.
she's pretty dead, I'd say.
if you flinched away from the screen when you saw all the gross stuff, she's dead.
Yeah, we got a
We're
tweet
good.
here. I'm bringing it up. It says when Tyrell finds out, he's going to strangle every DJ in the city. That's pretty good.
And then,
That's
and
on
then
Dat-Bow, which
the
is my
music
favorite
can
hashtag.
start again fresh.
Yeah, exactly.
Sweet and sad Casca.
And lastly, Flipper's back.
Oh yeah.
Flipper, the most. Oh, I see.
Oh no, we got Krista and Robot.
Oh yeah. And by the way, we're going to talk about Joanna with Jeremy Home.
I mean, honestly, this is the only reaction to Flipper anyway, so.
Well, I mean, it's just you could feel that way about Krista and Robot too. There was like such an intense moment because it feels like in a lot of ways they've been facing off in other variations in the show for a while now. Obviously, they have a lot of different plans for Elliot.
Yeah.
And this is the first time we really saw them together.
Yeah.
And we really saw that conflict kind of come to a head.
Yeah, it was super intense scene.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, my reaction is this because I was
You're
super.
into it. You're there
no,
for
oh my
it.
God, are you kidding? I love it. I was so happy to see Christian Slater yell at somebody who wasn't just Elliot because I feel like the last season or so he hasn't really had much to do. He's
Throwing away my emoji.
wow, strong. Yeah, it's just good to see him like up and about and to actually be this like menacing presence again.
Yeah.
Which he has definitely been this episode.
And Rami did an amazing sort of like Christian
Yeah,
impression.
I
to lead
love
into
that
it.
like flip where
Yeah.
you see him just go from like sweet, kind of confused, moody Elliot to like the Christian Slater, Mr. Robot. Like it's so chilling.
Yeah. All right, and I brought this up
Now we
earlier.
got it.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm obviously stoked about it, but we know what's going on with Flipper. He's sick. But he's back.
She's sick.
She's sick.
She, come on.
But back with Elliot.
Stop misgendering Flipper. Yeah, but
I
no,
used to
like
not appreciate Flipper.
the fans have been asking for this for a long time,
Yeah.
and it took a sort of weird pooping disease to make it happen, but we're glad it's happening.
Pooping disease.
Isn't that like he says he's like, yeah, that he has some weird pooping disease.
Okay, moving on to adorable things. So actually, we have a couple pieces of fan art of people who are just really big fans of Flipper and Elliot.
Yeah. These are
And
beautiful.
I know they're so nice. Like even though, okay, I like these because they really nailed Elliot's eyes. Like
Yeah.
yeah, this one too.
That one is the best
So
one.
Elliot
Yeah.
always looks like really terrified, but Flipper is always this sweet, wonderful.
And
friend.
that Flipper on the right really is mad at the world.
Aren't we all?
No, it's
That one is definitely into stage 2.
I love this one. I think this is the Flipper I'd want.
spayed by capitalism.
All right.
Think about it.
So we also saw Price this week give a big speech at what appears to actually be the G20 summit, saying eCoin should take over the world. There's
Yeah.
an issue with whether China is going to sign up for it. To explain all of that to us, well, let's watch that clip first.
In 11 days, you'll have what you want. UN vote to annex the Congo. It's as good as yours, but this currency war must end. The rest of the world needs China to embrace e-coin now. We're at risk of other countries pulling out.
Let me put this as simply as I can, so that we never have to belabor this point again. Your success will always follow mine.
And we are back with Peter Van Valkenburg from the Coin Center.
Yep. Thanks for having me, guys.
Thank you for being here.
yeah.
So you understand Bitcoin and
Well,
e-coin.
so my job is to explain it to government.
Yeah.
That's what Coin Center does. We actually explain cryptocurrency to people in Congress, agencies.
So now we want
I'm a
you to
lawyer.
explain it to. Now we want you to explain it to the Mr. Robot audience, particularly because we've been seeing eCoin kind of rumbling in the background.
Yeah.
There's a lot of conflict around it that is sometimes somewhat difficult to follow. And so, okay, it seems like it's a cryptocurrency sort of. We have these spin-offs of Bitcoin.
Yeah.
It's currency backed by math.
And the thing that really gets me actually interested in it in the show is that there is this narrative in our real industry. There are big banks like JP Morgan who are experimenting with the technology, and they do it in a way that is, they call it permissioned. It's a permissioned cryptocurrency or permissioned blockchain. And that means they kind of control, as like a point in the center, who can send money to who, and they have perfect visibility into who can send money to who. And in theory, it'll make their businesses more efficient so they can fire half their back offices or whatever, you know. This is progress.
Yeah,
maybe.
progress. So, and this is part of what's behind price with eCoin. The punchline of it is if you control the currency that everyone's using, and we see people using eCoin kind of in the background, it's like a good position for you to be in, right? You see everything, but also you control the medium of exchange.
Yeah, that's right. So Bitcoin's whole purpose was to take out the middleman, was to be a peer-to-peer electronic cash. So you have software on your phone, I have software on my phone, I send it to you. There's no one in between. No one can stand there and stop the transaction from happening. So if I want to donate to a questionable nonprofit like the Courage Foundation to support Chelsea Manning, there's no Visa or MasterCard that can say, no, we're not going to support that nonprofit anymore. So it's good for free speech. But now we have this possibility of building centralized digital currencies like eCoin, but in the real life, actually. This is actually happening, where maybe you lose that censorship resistance, and maybe you lose some degree of privacy in the process. And if cash disappears, so there's no more paper bills, and everyone has to use electronic transactions, and all the electronic transactions are going through these centralized digital currencies, or just normal bank money like credit cards, then that's the end of your privacy, and that's the end of your autonomy. Like if somebody doesn't want you to have participation in the financial system, they are in power. And they don't even use the law to do it. They just decide, well, we don't like this person's politics because we have a friend in Congress and they said don't let them transact anymore.
So,
Oh, yeah.
I was going to say, so it seems on its face like that's a bad idea. How would you, in a situation like Mr. Robot, 5/9 attack, how would a corporation like eCorp be like, actually, we should all just use eCoin? What would be the argument?
It would be a huge disruption, and it's not likely to happen anytime soon. I mean, we have a Federal Reserve in this country that decides through its member banks how currency works, and all the member banks would have to agree. Everyone would have to get on board. And the likelihood of everyone getting on board is tough. And where the show goes with this is exactly, I think, why real cypherpunks, people who really like this tech, aren't that concerned. Because at the end of the day, you're not going to get every country to sign on. There's going to be competition between nations. And at the end of the day, if you're building a backdoor into technology, you're building a backdoor into cryptography, or you're building a backdoor into encryption or blockchain, who gets the backdoor key? The government, right? But which government? It's not going to be just the US, right?
Yeah.
Is it going to be China too? What about Russia? Is there going to be a UN that decides who gets the back door?
Yeah, this is how you end up with people in the back room at the G20 arguing about it.
Yeah,
Well,
but you'll never get them all to agree because they want to compete with each other.
But so you mentioned credit cards, and this is part of what I find so fascinating about it is a lot of what we're talking about, you don't even need cryptocurrency to do. And this is my personal conspiracy theory thing, but I have however many different Bank of America credit cards in my wallet right now. You were talking about perfect visibility into transactions. in many cases, this is what banks are. They kind of already have this access.
Oh yeah, and they have all your personal information, and then there's companies like Equifax
We can
that
definitely
get
complain
hacked.
about banks all night. But as a bribe, so that we can move on, I'm offering you a cupcake.
Ooh, thank you.
By the way, Fear Your Bank, cash only, Bitcoin
Yeah.
only. But we got to move on. And this really brings me to what the fans are doing right now in a segment, Megan, I believe that you are calling What Does It All Mean?
What does it all mean?
Wow.
So actually, yeah, you know, the Mr. Robot people are always really good about like roping their fans in with ARGs and a lot of like cool real life stuff. At New York Comic Con, they actually lean super hard into the eCoin thing. So we actually have a clip, Philip Price in character as, you know, the actor was there as Philip Price to like give a speech to the fans. Got a clip here for you guys to check out.
By joining eCorp tonight, all of you show great strength and courage, and together, with the right leadership, order and stability will be restored. That is what eCoin is all about.
He's having so much fun. That's what eCoin is all about.
Yeah,
I
he's
mean,
like
so
really
good.
having a great time.
Just
Yeah.
chewing scenery there. We actually have a tweet. Ryan Seeger tweeted us, do you think they're going to make an ARG for the eCoin website? And the answer is like, it's happening.
Yeah. So yeah, that event was actually really, really cool because in addition to like that, it was presented as kind of a gala. There was music, food, whatever. But people who RSVP'd, actually hidden in the RSVP was a code. And if people figured it out and cracked it, they got special instructions to go to a separate entrance and, you know, wear this and do this. And so those people were able to do that. Some people who were in line were, you know, handed like Snapchat cards. And if you scan the card, it would give you like a code word or something, or tell you to go to a back door or look for a certain person. So while this event was going on, there, you know, are actors who are there pretending to be cater waiters or whatever. And then there are people just there to enjoy it, but are getting pulled into this game in real time. And then at the end, like they actually hacked that speech and like showed the premiere of the season. So it was like a pretty legit thing.
I mean, that's pretty cool.
No, it sounds awesome. Yeah.
It seems like the fans coming into this, there's sort of what we talk about, which is plot stuff. Lots of tweets about Flipper today.
Yeah.
But then there's also this extended, I don't know, I want to call it a universe. It's happening where, you know, the country actually is falling apart. So we might as well put actors into it. But this brings us, Russell, to something.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say it.
Please.
The Hack Report.
Wow. I'm so
Really
glad.
great.
Our sound designer, Miles Eswell, made that sound. I think it happens on demand. Let's try it.
Oh, yeah.
Hack report.
Yes.
Wait. Hack Report.
And Miles is
It's
going
got
to
like a Dalek thing to
There's
it.
a real
It's
thing going
great.
on there. We'll make it even crazier next week. But take us through it.
Yeah, so I think the big one, I was talking about this, is at the very end, we got Elliot was the target of spyware, but then he spied upon the spies. And because it sort of was a little disjointed, we didn't actually see him doing the hacking. It was maybe a little hard to follow, but we can hear the FBI talking about it in this clip. Listen closely.
You get anything from Elliot's computer?
He hasn't logged in all day. Last night he sent an encrypted email with a link. Could be lucky. Could be sending it to Tyrell, right?
This is from last night?
Oh, also was able to get a clean audio recording of his place.
Seriously?
Yeah, he dropped some good intel. Here, let me play it for you.
Can't be stuck in my head all day now.
So,
Wait, can I interrupt you? FBI agent is corny as hell.
oh yeah.
First
How
of
do
all,
you think
the
he got this job?
dad is true, all the dad jokes.
Do you think he like has a dad in the FBI? Like,
And then two, fell for the phishing scam that's like, here's a document. Here's a link to the document. Please click the link.
Yeah, so this is right after, you know, he says, oh, he was about to email this link. I followed it, nothing happened. And all of this is because they're monitoring the spyware that Darlene put on the computer earlier on.
Yeah.
And so Elliot, we're sort of not sure, like Robot catches her afterwards, Elliot in robot mode, and Elliot kind of senses something's up. And he has this, he drops this link, and when the guy follows it, he gets spyware, and spyware sort of gives Elliot all the information on where they are, and so then he just shows up. But, you know, spyware is a very real thing, and this is something controversially that the FBI has used to go after sort of dark websites where they know there's this website, but they don't really know where all the people visiting the website are.
Yeah.
And there was this huge legal fight where they said, look, we just want a warrant. We don't know where they are. They could be anywhere. They could be outside the US, but we want to infect their computer with malware to tell us who they are and where they are. And, you know, in general, the judges bought it. So this is now a power the FBI has.
So this works.
Yeah.
So Elliot finding them,
Yeah.
that's a real thing that could happen.
Yeah, and generally, I mean, the way that you do it is very much like there's this link and you convince them to follow the link. And then, you know, he would have had to have done some special stuff on the back end on a non-spyware computer. So maybe he has something, we don't know exactly how that works. But yeah, I mean, it's absolutely real.
Right. And there's another hack as well.
Yeah, so this was in sort of all the early stuff. A lot of people got arrested. There was a lot of like corporate figures being let out of the building in shackles, more than has happened in the real world, really. But I mean, my theory is that 5/9 has convinced them to really crack down on corporate crime. So the two big ones were, he has his two bosses, one of whom is really into Goo Goo Dolls and one of them is really into SoulCycle. And
as you are.
Yeah.
I forget, I think it was Goo Goo Dolls was installing, he sort of had slipped a rootkit into the Evil Corp app, which is a real thing that Sony did in 2005. They put a rootkit on these CDs. No one ever like went to jail. There were some like U.S. attorneys who were mad.
This is one of my favorite stories. It's a true story.
Yeah.
One of my favorite websites, Boing Boing, covered the hell out of this.
Oh yeah, they were
in
great.
2005. Here's an old headline. The list of CDs here, by the way, is incredible. They're 2005 CDs. So Sony was so against you ripping your CDs and MP3s that automatically, when you put a Sony music CD into your computer would install a rootkit to prevent you from ripping the CDs.
Wow.
So Sony's like rooting Windows PCs left and right. They got sued. They had to take it back. The head of Sony was like, "Why is this a big deal? People don't even know what a rootkit is." Times have changed.
Yeah, especially after 5/9. Well, and then the other guy was doing a defeat device, which is kind of like what Volkswagen did. Anyway, it's bad out there.
Yeah.
It's bad.
Evil Corp, malfeasance at Evil Corp.
It's okay. Have a cupcake.
I will.
It's going to be fine. All right. We are going to bring on our second guest for the day. Jeremy Holm is here, plays Sutherland. Let's watch Sutherland in action.
If you retract your statement, you will die. I'm not being overly emotional about this. Just that's how little we care about your life. Forget this night ever happened. Move on. Marry a nice young lady who actually finds whatever you are charming. But understand one thing. As certain as the pain you're feeling right now, there's no option where you and Joanna ever see each other again.
Welcome, Jeremy. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me here.
Yeah.
It's a nice place you got.
Oh, thanks.
I like it.
It's cozy, but we call it home. We live here. We never go anywhere.
I saw your bedroom.
It's the set is very strange to wake up here every day. Anyway, that was a super intense scene, shocking moment. We were saying earlier, we're big fans of the character of Joanna and Sutherland. What was that like to shoot?
You know, we obviously we had read the scene, Stephanie and I, and we hadn't seen each other since we read the scene. But then, you know, we got together and we had a long hug and chat about it. And you know, we're actors. That's our job to play the scene as best we can. And you know, my focus that day was just to enjoy the artistry of the crew and the teamwork that, you know, hundreds of people put together to make this amazing shot happen. They had a Suburban with the top cut off, and they had a crane. And, you know, if those cranes, if you don't balance them right, it's 2 ounces. But then when they extend it out 35, 40 feet, it's 500 pounds, and it's a $100,000 camera. It's done, or someone's hurt. So all those factors. It's in the middle of the night. You've got this intense scene. There's a baby with blood on it. I mean, it's
Was the baby there the whole time?
No, they're very, very strict rules. So the baby was in the car for maybe 12 minutes max. Yeah. And we were all like, I had my hand in back, and you know, I have 2 daughters, so I was, you know, I heard the cries, and the cries were, you know, when you have kids, you know the difference is it a wet diaper? Are they hungry? And this was just slightly uncomfortable cry, or you know, my mom standing 5 feet away. But it was a really intense and moving night for all of us.
Yeah.
Because they love Stephanie. You know, the crew and everybody loves Stephanie, so they were sad to see what happened to us.
So when do you find out? Is it at the table read? Is it you get the scripts at home and you're just like, Sam?
It's a great question. I didn't find out until the table read. Like, I found out when I was reading the scene and then hearing someone read the stage directions about what happens. And, you know, I looked around the room and everybody was like, oh, we're not going to be next to him at the break when he goes to craft services. But I have nothing but gratitude, you know, for being on the show, because it's such a, you know, there's a dislocation in our world, in our country now, that technology has caused. And we're going to have to fight really hard to get back human connection. And I think that's what the show is tapped into in a very big way.
Yeah, we have a question from Twitter here. Scott says, what is it like trying to film in New York City? Is it hard filming in the subways, late at night, all that stuff?
So the driving scene that you saw tonight, I was actually driving in real New York City traffic with Stephanie in the back seat and Sam on a walkie-talkie. And we turned a corner and Sam said, no, keep going. I said, yes, Sam, there's a guy crossing in front of me. And he happened to be like a temporary production assistant who didn't know we were shooting, and I had to slow down and we had to go around the block again. But it's intense and it's exciting because you never know you're in New York City.
Yeah.
Anything could happen.
Your renegade production.
Yeah.
Classic, Mr. Robot.
Yeah.
You want to say something?
No,
All right, well, I have yet more for you. I just want to make sure. Sutherland's like a pretty enigmatic character, right? He's kind of the fixer for the Wellix. Do you have a whole backstory in your head? Did Sam write you a Bible that's like, Sutherland goes home at night and plays video games?
He did not write me a Bible, but he did put a few clues into the first season and the first few scenes. He loves movies. He's a movie buff.
Wait, Sutherland's a movie buff?
Oh, he's a big movie buff.
This is like a thing that's in the back of your mind.
And
you're like
he's a
choking the guy out?
conspiracy theorist.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Every time he looks at a camera, he's, you know, traffic cam, he's wondering who's getting that footage, who's watching me, which government agency, you know, has my phone tapped. He's very concerned about, you know, government conspiracies. And also he's a big movie buff, and he kind of planted some things like that in the first season.
I have more in common with this guy than I thought.
Yeah, and basically the same.
Yeah, I mean, I'm physically smaller, but yeah.
Not that much, though.
But you are a killer.
So, I mean, what does this guy do on his days off?
Well, you know, a lot of times he'll go to the Met. He loves opera.
Oh, good for him.
Sutherland is so rich.
No, he goes to standing room only.
Yeah.
And he knows all the doormen, and he knows all the ticket sellers, and, you know, TKTS, he knows they give him free tickets.
Yeah.
He goes in the back door. He loves the theater, but only musicals. He doesn't like straight plays.
So you really plotted this all out.
Yeah, yeah, but what he loves best is to get home at the end of the day, greet his family, and have a nice pot pie dinner with his wife.
This is real. You're not sure of me right now.
Well, the pot pie part is not real, but they actually wrote a monologue that happens underneath a scene in season 2, where I learned he was married and he had a family and he did want to go home to his wife and kids.
Yeah.
And I was so excited to get that little chunk and see how I could fill it in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's earning money for his family.
Yeah, I do want to ask, I think that he's been so loyal to Joanna and Tyrell, like, doing stuff that is kind of horrific and monstrous, maybe. Like, he murdered a guy maybe this season.
That guy, you know, did some things, so.
Yeah, oh, no, this is good. 'Cause why is he so loyal to them? Is it just like, well, they pay my bills, or is there something deeper there?
I definitely think there was something deeper there, and we don't really know what it is, but Martin and I had a conversation in season 1 about, you know, what that bond was or is. And there's definitely a kind of loyalty that's almost inexplicable.
Is that loyalty to Joanna or Tyrell? Because Joanna appears to be very dead. Tyrell, not so much.
It doesn't seem like she's going to make it, does it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of sad.
Well, so I was curious because, you know, you were talking about all this, which government agency is the camera going to? And yeah, how much of this is sort of, how much did you draw on your own life in thinking about this world?
Well, I don't know how often you change your passwords, but I was doing another show that had a hacker plot, and one of the gentlemen that talked to us convinced me that anything you do on the internet is basically anyone has free access to it that knows how to get it. So, I mean, all you have to do is read the paper and you see it's happening right now.
Yeah. All right. On that extraordinarily depressing note, I want to say thank you to you, Jeremy. Thank you, Peter, for being here. We've got to wrap it up. You can watch Mr. Robot on USA Network Wednesdays at 10 p.m. We are on right after on The Verge's YouTube channel. Check us out after the show. Tweet at us, #RobotShow. And it's Elliot's birthday. I hear your wife is here, and it's actually her birthday.
It is her
So we're going
birthday.
to have a big old cupcake party. That's it. Thank you so much. See you later, everybody.
Thanks, man.